Morning everybody, welcome back to Leeton. My name's Jace. To a not so sunny Shropshire this morning, but it is going to get hot later, and I'm thinking I'm going to get what I need to get done out here in the cool and then go and do my paperwork. I've got an office day today, so I'll do that this afternoon and evening and get everything done that I need to do out here while it's not quite so hot. But it's about 15 degrees at the moment, but there's a bit of a breeze and it feels a bit sort of chilly, hence I've got my coat on. So I need to get into this Brassica bed because there's some stuff that needs harvesting, and there's some stuff that's pretty much finished, there's some stuff that's dead and it needs a weed. I need to check the beer traps, etc. And I've also then got some stuff that I can plant out where things have died or things have just finished now, and I can pull them out and put something new in. So that's kind of maintenance on that bed and replenishing the stock, if you like. And then I've got some salad that I need to plant out and start the next salad area while we continue to eat the one that's already growing. I've got melons and butternut squash that need potting on. I'll get that done. Might be a few other things that need pricking out and putting into individual pots or modules. So I'm going to have a cup of tea and then we'll get cracking. So one of the first things I want to harvest today is the Monge 2 because it's coming on now. I've got quite a few pods on there and I want to keep picking them because that encourages more flowers, more pods. So I'm going to snip off all the ones that are of a decent size that I can see. This is going to be my harvest tray today. Got quite a few little bits that I can harvest, and I'm going to do myself a nice stir fry tonight with it all. So Julie's at work tonight, so just me and the boy, so we'll have a chicken stir fry. Next I'm going to get some radishes. This back row. Next, we've got a courgette here. That can go in. And it's funny, sun makes such a difference. If you look, this plant is in sun most of the day. Then this one, then this one, and then that one. Look at the difference. So I'll remember that for next year. And another thing I've got is a couple of onions here that are bolting. So I'm going to pull those out. And that can get chopped up and put in. You can put all the greens in as well. So there's quite a lot of food there. There's another one there. I think I might leave that one for tomorrow's tea. And then in here we've got broad beans. Some of these pods are now looking quite big, so I'm going to have a look at one and see. They might not be ready yet, but we'll have a look. No, nowhere near, but it's still tasty. All the same. Lovely. So in amongst this lot, we've already had a few sprigs of broccoli. I think some of it's bolting, but still some edible, you know, not too bad. This, I've already took the main flower out of this one, and a few of the side heads that form when you cut the main one off. There's a couple more here. So I'm going to take those little ones. And these small leaves as well are really tasty. Don't waste anything, that's what I say. So that's got a flower coming in there. So I think this plant now is pretty much finished. So I'm going to take a couple of these smaller leaves to put in the stir fry. The ones that haven't been touched by slugs. And then that plant's going to come out. And that's going to give me some space to put something else. I've got some more here. You can just see that it's about to start to open and flower, so it's time to eat it. I'm going to take these smaller ones as well, because they're about to flower. Now there are some smaller ones coming on there, so I'm going to leave that and let them develop a bit. And in here we've got a nice Ladiva cucumber. We've got another one here that I'm going to take because it's growing really low down on the plant, and it just feels a bit strange. It's strange the way it's grown, that one. Feels quite soft. Anyway, I'm sure it will be fine. So there we are. And this is why we do it, isn't it? Okay, so all I'm going to do on this bed now is get in there, remove all these lower leaves, because they're not really doing a lot to the plant. And they're starting to decay. And they're going to attract slugs. So I'm going to do that on all of the plants, and I'm going to give it a good weed. It'll all go in the compost together, all these weeds out, and then we'll look at filling spaces with new plants that I've got coming on. You do have to consider with the Brassicas, like these are the sprouts, so these are going to get quite a lot bigger yet. So I need to consider shading while I'm doing that. And at some point I'm going to have to make a bigger cage for these, a higher cage, because these will suddenly shoot up and then grow sprouts where the leaf junctions are. But they're okay for now. But that's probably something I'm going to have to do in another few weeks. So I'm going to crack on with this, and I shall see you guys in a bit. So that's the bed weeded and de-leafed, if you like. Pulled out some dead plants, mainly at this end where I had the real bad slug problem. The copper mesh does seem to have worked on some of the plants. There's a space here and a space there, and I think these ones were actually killed by cutworm. The plant just died, both of them. I call it a cutworm. It's actually a larvae of something. It's like a big grub thing that goes around and it eats plants from underneath, and yeah, I think that's what's happened to those two. Savoy cabbages are coming on. I'm pleased with those. They've sort of fought off the slugs, and I think the mesh is working. It's helping anyway. I don't think it's a complete deterrent, but it is working. Got some volunteer potatoes here. I'm just going to leave these. I think these are King Edward. These are from I grew potatoes here last year, so I'm just going to leave those, and then when I alter all this bed here, I'll dig those up. There's a weed. So yeah, all that there is just weeds from this little bed, and there's a few leaves off the plants. So I'm going to go get some fresh stock now and see what we've got that we can fill in these gaps. So I've got some red cabbage that I sowed not long ago. I've only got the 3. We don't eat a lot of cabbage, but you know, with these 2 Savoys and a few of these, that'll keep us going for a while. So I think I'm going to put one there, one there, one here, and then I've got some pak choy, which I might, if there's a space further down, put some of that in as well. If not, that can just hang back for a bit until some more room becomes available, which probably won't be that long once potatoes and things start to get harvested. So, and the beer traps, I don't think I'm going to bother replenishing at the minute because it's so dry. We've not got any rain forecast all week, and it seems a bit pointless really. I'm watering these by hand every couple of days, but I'm doing it locally around the plant. I'm not soaking the whole bed, so that makes it a little bit harder for the slugs. Anyway, let's get one of these cabbage put in. And hopefully these will get established before the slugs annihilate them. Probably come out in the morning and they'll be gone. So I've got couple of copper mesh pieces here, so I'm going to put them round as I've got them. So something else that happens with Brassicas is they can do this. They flop over. No matter how deep you plant them, they still seem to flop over. And a lot of it is because we've grown them in a cover. So they've been leaning on that cover. They've not learned, but they've become used to leaning on the cover for support. And when you take the cover away, that support's gone. So what I'm going to do is use a short cane and sort of push it between stems, leaves and what have you, and in, just to give it a bit of support. Making sure that the cane is below where my netting will be, because otherwise it will make a hole in it. So I've got a few of those to do. I don't think there's any room really for the pak choi at this stage. I need a few more plants to come out, because over here, I'll just turn the camera around. Over here, these are the sprouts, and because I'm going to have to build a higher enclosure here for them, I'm thinking this area here could really do with being sort of left clear. So once this plant here is finished, this broccoli, that's when I'm going to build my taller cage for the sprouts and keep this as it is for the rest of the stuff, because I've got pak choi, I've got cauliflower coming. Yeah, I've got quite a bit of stuff growing that's going to need to be planted out soon. So, but hopefully this broccoli will get itself finished fairly soon, either through full maturity or bolting, and then I'll have some space. So this one needs a bit of a stake as well. There we go. So there we go, sprouts. That's a broccoli that I shoved in the middle because these two sprouts died for some reason. Two more sprouts, and then it's broccoli all the way down here to this point where we go into cauliflower. So I think that one, these four, and that one are cauliflower. Then we've got two more broccoli, and we've got one of the red cabbage we put in there. Then we've got two red cabbage, two Savoy cabbage. So I need to get the cover back on this now before you know who arrives. And if you notice, before I took the cover off, a lot of the leaves were like bulging up against the cover, especially in this middle section here. So what I want to do is put the cover on much looser this time, especially in that section, to stop basically just making it horrible for the plants where they're trying to push against it, and you know, they want to be able to move around a little bit. Here's something I was going to share with you. When I was on site last week, I was at an industrial estate down Worcester way, and the industrial estate's owned by a farmer, and basically he's got horses, and there's a skip on the industrial estate where he puts all of his horse manure and bedding. And I couldn't get to speak to the farmer, but I asked some guys that were there, and they said, look, it's horse muck, it's free to take if you want some. So I've taken about 2 wheelbarrowfuls, filled this dustbin, I just shoveled it in the back of my truck, and obviously what I don't know is if he uses any weed killers and things on his pastures. So what I'm going to do is leave it in that bin to rot down, and then probably next year try growing something in it, in a pot, maybe a bean or something, and if it works out okay, then that's good to go on the beds as far as I'm concerned. But what I don't want to do is just put that straight on the bed this winter and then find out it's got some nasty chemical in it, some Grazon or something like that, that the guy uses for his paddocks. So, but you know, if it turns out to be good, well, there's 2 wheelbarrows of horse muck that will come in handy. I thought I'd get into the greenhouse and get this bit done because the sun's come out and it's getting warm. This is a bit of carpet underlay that I use to block up the broken window that we've got, opening window. The glass is broken, so on an evening I wedge this up there to keep the heat in, so that can go down there. Right, so I've got various 2 types of melon there, one of which I can't remember the name of, but I'll have to look at the packet, and the other one is Alvaro F1 hybrid. So I've got 3 of each of those, and I've also got 2 butternut squash. So, and they're looking a little bit wilted, and they've been neglected a little bit. They should have been potted on before now. So I'm going to use my normal mix and find some suitable pots. That'll do for the melons. And I haven't got a bed ready to put these in yet, so I'm trying to keep them going for a while I organise that. So just my normal potting mix, compost and vermiculite, nothing special at all. So let's get these butternut squash done first. Oh, poor thing, look. And I'm going to water these from the bottom. I'm going to put them in the tray of water because they're so dry. Just watering from the top probably won't do it. So I'm going to leave them sitting in a tray like this of water for the day, I think. So I'll put them up there with the cucumber for a minute. little bit more stuff. I'm going to have to go and get some more compost, I think, tomorrow. I can't believe how much compost we buy in. That'll do. That's the butternut squash done. A bit of compost can go in there. Okay, melon. So these are the Alvaro. Now, of course, I'm going to be trying to grow these outside. Now, if the weather carries on as it is, I'll probably get away with it. But if it doesn't, then I might not be that successful. But you've got to try these things. I've grown cucumbers and melons, etc. outside before, so we'll see. What's going on with the weather, guys? I mean, we're now in our 4th week of no rain. None at all. That's quite concerning, isn't it? You know, I've never known a May and June like it, not that I can remember. You know, it's quite concerning. And I know what's going to come next. The local council are going to say, right, hosepipe ban, or the water company, whoever. And that's not good. I mean, when I was out driving to work a couple of days ago, the farmers are out with the big sprayers irrigating the fields, the potato fields. They're watering their potatoes. Normally I wouldn't have watered my potatoes yet at this time of year. There's normally enough dampness in the ground at that depth for them to be okay. But I'm probably, my potatoes in the pots, I'm probably giving them 3 litres of water a day per pot. And the ones in the ground, I'm watering every other day at the moment. So, you know, it is quite concerning. And you can argue and argue over the causes of global warming, and I have my own opinions on that. But I don't think anybody could deny it's actually happening. Although, when I say that, I think the springs and the summers are getting hotter, and the winters are getting colder. And we're sort of at a point where we don't have 4 seasons as such anymore, we have 2. A bit like a switch, it's on or it's off. And I think over the coming years, you know, the next decade or so, we're probably going to have to change what we grow, or how we grow it, and at what times of year we grow it. I think there's a bit of an evolution type thing going on that we're all going to have to adapt to. So that's those. That can go in there too. There's the seed. Not even tried to germinate that one. You know, and these packets of melons, you're talking like 2.5–3 quid, and you get 4 seeds. Crazy. There's another couple of pots. So these are the melon that I can't remember the variety of, but I do still have the packet. And we do like melon. I think everybody likes melon, don't they? Nothing better than a nice juicy melon on a hot day. Move that. I need to get in here and sort all these pots out. We've got pots everywhere. Crazy. I think these are going to live in here now. So that one like that, got an arrow on it. We'll use this one. Too big. It's the same. Yeah, my day at the moment is get up at about 7, come down, unwrap everything, uncover everything, take everything out of the greenhouse and put it outside, take everything out of the shed, put it outside, then go in and have a cup of tea and get ready for work, and then do it all in reverse in the evening. So overall, including the watering at the moment, because it's a hot, every day I'm probably spending at least an hour literally moving plants around, covering them up, uncovering them and watering them. So busy. Don't know about anybody else, but the grass has slowed down. It's so dry, so I'm not cutting it at the moment till we get some rain. You can see the type of soil we've got. When it dries out, it just cracks. Okay, in this area I'm going to plant up some more lettuce, in particular iceberg, in front of the celery and the celeriac. And I've been growing them on in these little pots, and it's about time they went out. Definitely. And then over here in Kale Corner, again looks like I'm getting on top of the slugs. We've got a grasshopper or a cricket there. Leave that. Right, volunteer potatoes again. I might leave it. And just squeeze the kale in around here. Yeah. So we had a disaster at the weekend. My fire pit of 8 years, which I got second hand out of a skip. I was on site one day and it was in a skip, and that was 8 years ago, but it has eventually given up the ghost. And I am considering cutting a piece of plate and welding it in, see if we can get another few years out of it before the sides and the feet and everything rot. But I just looked online, actually 80 quid for one of these, so I might do that. I've got a bit of sheet, I might just weld a piece in there, just tack it in, and it'll do another few years hopefully. So yeah, in an emergency situation I improvised with a paving slab and some bricks. So we still were able to sit down here and have a fire. Alright everybody, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, really helps the channel. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do, and follow us on our journey to become more self-sufficient. Thanks very much, see you next time.